live in Los Angeles, brought to you by Firestone. Complete auto care. Keep your car running. Newer and longer NFL draft news in 5 minutes. Christine Leahy is joining me.
For the last time ever.
Yes, for the last time ever.
Were you working on LeBron news?
No.
Okay.
There is breaking NFL stuff.
NFL news.
I'm going to get to that in 5 minutes. The draft is tonight. I'm doing something I've never done before. It's been a dream of mine to hang out in an NFL war room. I'll be in the LA Chargers war room. It's as exciting as anything I've ever done in sports. This has been a dream of mine. So today is going to be a crazy, crazy day. It's Christine's last day. We talked about that yesterday. Let me start with this, though. Let me just start the show with this. LeBron played almost a perfect game last night. I mean, he almost played a perfect game. At home against the rebuilding Indiana Pacers. And the Cavs needed an officiating break and a last-second three by LeBron to narrowly win. You watch Cleveland's roster, it's useless. Only one of LeBron's teammates made more than 2 shots last night. I'm not making that up. If LeBron leaves Cleveland again, he doesn't owe that city anything. This is LeBron and 9 valets, and they're not even good valets. These are the kind of valets that lose your car keys or bring you the wrong Mazda. These are bad valets. J.R. Smith went 0 for 8. Kevin Love hurt again, 2 for 11. All the new guys, people were falling in love with Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance, combined for 13 points. I don't want to see any burning jerseys because you know he's leaving. You know he's not staying for this garbage. He played a perfect game. They got an officiating break. He had to hit a great shot at the buzzer to narrowly at home beat the rebuilding Cavs, who don't have a star. They don't. Victor Oladipo's a good player. Not a star. It's not a star. Okay, listen. In review, let's look at what has happened in Cleveland pre and post LeBron. Before he arrived, the previous year, they were 17-65. That was 15 years ago. Then he showed up in Cleveland, and in 7 years, they made the playoffs 5 times, including 2 division titles and a final. And then he left, and they butchered the number 1 pick. They were immediately awful and averaged 25 wins a year. Then he came back, 4 years, 3 finals, 1 title. We have a pattern here, don't we? The franchise is an utter embarrassment without LeBron. They were before he got there, they were when he left, and they're going to be when he leaves. But when he leaves this time, he doesn't owe you anything. I don't care where he was born. He has given you everything. What we're watching now is garbage. It is valets that lose your keys. He's playing brilliant basketball. He's in his 15th year. You can blame him all you want, but since 1970, the Cavs have won 45% of their games. My bad, 42% of their games that LeBron doesn't play, closer to 67 that he does. You can blame anybody you want, but this is a bottom 10 roster in the NBA without LeBron. It is garbage. But Colin, I don't want to hear it. You were junk before him, you were junk when he left, and you're going to be junk in an hour when he leaves. I don't want to hear it. You're the luckiest franchise in the world that you had him. I don't want to hear it. If she leaves you guys and you're a mess, she comes back, you're great. Yeah, she's a little needy, but you can't live without her. I don't want to see. You know what I want to see when he leaves now? Statues. You know what I want to see? I want you to rename the city to Clebron, Ohio. I want the Browns to become the Bronze. I want a shrine. I want a museum. I want the face of LeBron James on the roof of the arena because you before him and you after him have been utterly embarrassing. And this is an abject mess. And if you hired a great GM years ago, you wouldn't have to lean on LeBron. You would have leverage. But you don't have leverage. By the way, Miami was great before LeBron, and Miami will eventually be great after LeBron because they got Pat Riley, and they have a good coach and a great owner. Miami was relevant before LeBron arrived. They were really relevant when he was there, and guess what? Within the next 5 years, Miami's going to be relevant again. You can blame all you want, but this is the worst-looking roster if you take LeBron in the entire playoff picture. It is a mess.
What about when she sabotages the relationship? Because that's what LeBron did. He created that roster. You know that.
You were better with him than without him. You were better with her than without her. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but
Nobody's perfect.
Neither is LeBron. His
Nobody's
ego is so
saying
big,
he's
it outshines
perfect.
the whole relationship.
Nobody's saying he's perfect. But when you are a grease fire without him and are great with him, even if he's needy, you deal with Brett Favre's neediness. You deal with Tom Brady's neediness. You deal with that amazing woman in your life who demanded a lot, but you're an embarrassment without him. Kyle Korver's the only player that made over 2 shots last night against the rebuilding Pacers. All right, we. By the way, here's the game winner from LeBron, Cavs radio. This is fun. I mean, it was a great shot. It shouldn't have come to this, but it was a great shot.
Screen set for LeBron James. Going to work, fires, leaning. DeBron! A white gold! Walk-off playoff winner! He does it again! LeBron James, the miracle worker, the king defies description.
That was a fun moment. Shouldn't have come to that, but it was a fun moment. Okay, let me shift gears. Breaking news. Been on the phone all morning long. I'm hanging out with the L.A. Chargers tonight in their draft room, and I've been talking to a variety of people, not them, but a variety of people. Here's what's happening. In Las Vegas this morning, we have now changing odds. We have multiple local, multiple national reporters reporting what I'm going to tell you right now. The Cleveland Browns are going to take Baker Mayfield with the number 1 pick. I wouldn't do it. They're going to do it. Let me explain why. Here's what I've been told. The Cleveland Browns have a general manager, John Dorsey. John Dorsey used to be in Green Bay. When he was in Green Bay, the Packers acquired Brett Favre, and he changed the world. Scott McLaughlin used to be Washington's GM. Got fired, personal stuff. McLuhan. He has joined John Dorsey in Cleveland for the purpose of being a consultant for this draft. McLuhan and Dorsey worked together in Green Bay when Favre changed the temperature of the franchise. They believe Baker Mayfield has Favre qualities. Lil baggage, playmaker, cocky, over the top, change the franchise. That's what's happening. Dorsey and McLuhan working together in Green Bay lived through the Favre life changer, room changer, franchise changer. They lived through it. They're now working together in Cleveland because McLuhan was out of work. Dorsey hires him as a draft consultant. They think Baker Mayfield is Favre. I'd like to look at the camera now and say something. I do not think Baker Mayfield is Brett Favre. I would like to quadruple down on that before the draft. I do not believe Baker Mayfield is Brett Favre. Brett Favre falls from the sky once every 30 years in this league. Baker Mayfield fell when he was tackled by cops in Fayetteville. I do not believe they're the same level of talent. But let me tell you why today is a glorious day for me, an absolutely glorious day for me. Because I like Sam Darnold as a prospect, as a quarterback, as a person, and as a leader. So today, he's not going to go to Cleveland. And through this entire process, I think I was the first to bring it up about 6 months ago, I thought Sam Darnold maybe should stay in school so he wasn't drafted by Cleveland. Because I've lived this, and I've viewed it, and I've seen it. It is impossible to overcome dysfunction. It's impossible. Phil Jackson won a title in the CBA in Albany. Won 6 in Chicago and 5 with the Lakers. He was a disaster with the New York Knicks. Nick Saban, successful at Michigan State, LSU, and Alabama. He's a legend. Where did he fail? In the dysfunction of the Miami Dolphins. My entire career, I've had nothing but great environments except one. I flourished in Vegas, first job. I flourished in Portland. ESPN and Fox have both worked very well. I struggled in Tampa. Bad GM, bad news director, both been fired. I couldn't overcome utter dysfunction. It is very, very hard, no matter how hard you work and how good and potentially talented you are. That's why great actors end up in bad movies. They can't overcome a bad director. Sam Darnold is the best quarterback prospect in this draft. But my concerns were always, can he overcome Cleveland? Good God, folks, Bill Belichick's the best football coach of my life. He got fired in Cleveland. So now Darnold may drop to number 2 with the Giants. Stable franchise, smart people, real defense. He may fall to Denver at 5. Don't kid yourself. If he was available, even with Case Keenum, they'd take him. By the way, Buffalo now can move up to number 2. They have been historically weird, but I like their staff right now. They have a real defense. They made the playoffs last year. I take Buffalo over Cleveland. Here's the 2 things you need to know. Cleveland, no matter what quarterback goes there, the general manager, John Dorsey, didn't hire this staff. He inherited it. So whoever goes there, and now it's going to be Baker, is going to have a different staff in year 2 than he gets as a rookie. So he's going to be 2 staffs in year 2. That's not good. Here's the second thing you need to know. NFL quarterbacks make their money on the 2nd and 3rd contract. Translation, you end up in a stable franchise, you win a bunch of games, and the franchise feels you are indispensable. That's how Matt Ryan made his money. That's how Big Ben made his money. That's how Eli Manning made his money. Stable, win games, you're indispensable. Baker Mayfield is going number 1 according to local, regional, national sourcing. Vegas now officially changing the odds. They don't do that just on rumors and speculation. I'll double, triple, quadruple down. I do not think Baker Mayfield, and I say this with great confidence, is Brett Favre. I think Sam Darnold is the only quarterback in this class that even resembles Favre, and even he isn't Brett Favre. Coming up next, what is sustainable? Anybody can have brief success, but what is sustainable? I saw something last night that was great. It's not sustainable. That's coming up. Let me tell you about Tom Patterson. He was out there on the West Coast, out here with us, working. And he was working on this company called Tommy John, working on undergarments. He decided to do something about it. He went home, sketched up some smarter designs, had a tailor sew some prototypes, and voila. The revolutionary Tommy John underwear was born. They've sold over 5 million pairs of underwear. More than 500,000 guys have made the switch. As a customer myself, I can tell you, the proprietary fabric, the silk design, the fabrics, there is nothing like it on the market. Try it for yourself. Best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. Join the revolution against uncomfortable undergarments. Make the switch. No adjustment needed. TommyJohn.com, code HERD, H-E-R-D, 20% off. TommyJohn.com, code H-E-R-D.